In terms of the 5G rollout, how is that going?
5G rollout in India is actually going at a very breakneck speed. As we speak, we've already rolled out in about 40 cities. Two networks are rolling out, Airtel and our Jio, they're both rolling out. And we believe that by December of this year, most of the urban areas, big cities, even smaller cities will be covered. Our objective is by March 24 to cover the entire country on 5G.
Of course, there are more than just one player.
Uh-huh.
What factors will determine which player gets to dominate the 5G space in India?
No, I think, as I said, we both are, rolling out. There are 3 operators as we speak. 2 of us are rolling out, and we are rolling out the entire nationwide network. So it will be available on both networks. It's not that one is going to be dominant than the other. Both are rolling out and rolling out the nationwide network. So 5G will be available in the entire country.
So it is a sustainable market structure. In your sense, what will that translate to for Bharti in terms of profitability when it becomes profitable?
No, we don't take subsegments of a 5G profitability or a 4G profitability. It is a company-wide profitability. And we believe that India has a scope for a tariff hike. We are far lower as far as the tariffs are concerned, and the consumption of data is far too large. And of course, as the capacity needs to be built up, and that's where the rollout is happening, we are hoping that over a period of time, some price hikes will happen. And that's not determined just by 5G, but the base is so low. And we believe that this has to go to around 300 rupees on ARPU to become a sustainable model over a period of time.
Where are discussions though right now, and when do you expect that to happen?
There are no discussions. This is in the hand of the private sector. We have to really determine as to when the price hikes will happen. One price hike had happened already. So over a period of time, I have to assume that it will take shape. It's really 2.5-player market as we speak. So it will find its construct as we go along.
Of course, for you, it's also about OneWeb. Take us through the latest, what's happening and what's been achieved.
We are just short of about 40 satellites that will actually then give the entire coverage. Today we are covering about 80%. With that, we'll cover 100%. So totally 648 sites would be up and about. So 2 launches are happening, one in February and one in March. So that will complete the entire constellation of satellites that we had to put in the sky.
In terms of that merger with Eutelsat.
That's going on. We are waiting for regulatory clearances. So that's work in progress.
How much of a game changer will that be, you think?
I think that will play well because they are in the geo space and we are in the LEO space. So that's a complementary space. And that gives a network for the entire world, and that's an entire globe. So that becomes complementary from both sides.
Raj, I want to get your perspective on the macro environment. Of course, India has ambitions to be a $7 billion economy in 7 years. How optimistic do you think that can be achieved? Some say that's pretty ambitious.
India has been growing on a secular basis 6, 7, 8%. And I think the way we are seeing the world trends, especially with the geopolitics as we have gone by the last year, stress between the two big countries, China and US, that is helping India creating a space for itself. While we've been a service-led GDP, manufacturing needs to really come up the scale. We are only about 15% of GDP in manufacturing. Our belief, and political leadership also believes, that that has to go to 25%, and that's the right mix. And we are seeing a lot of companies are wanting India. Earlier it was China plus India. Today India is coming in the forefront. We do recognize that, and so does the world, that you need trusted partners, you need trusted sources, you need trusted nations. So that build-up is happening. And my belief, if we go on the path that we have chartered, and the way the governments of the day are really backing the private sector and wanting investments to come in, 7-8% is a given. Can we move this needle to 10%? Is something we have to work on it.
Is that pace of growth sustainable? 7-8% growth for the next 5 years?
I think it's sustainable for the next 10 years. Because please do understand, we are just about 3 trillion economy. So with 1.4 billion people, the local consumption and export orientation as it will happen, we believe 7-8% for the coming decade is quite possible for us to take to that benchmark.
What are the key challenges for the economy? Of course, the world is seeing a high rate high inflation environment. How might that play out in India? How might that play out for Indian companies?
You know, while India, in the way we are seeing as we speak today, with Europe in recession and US being where it is, India seems to be a bright spot, but yet we are all interconnected in the economies. World is interconnected globally. Some stresses will be there. Prolonged war is leading to the supply chains being broken. That becomes a challenge. Oil prices, will have to see how they play out. That will become a challenge. So there will be some subset of challenges that will come. But we believe, at least from an Indian private sector, that there are enough resources outside which are there to be deployed. Where all they will be deployed is to be seen. Which are the large nations which will attract that foreign direct investment? India is on top of the list. I will be surprised if, let's say, Fortune 500 companies who are wanted to go global or who are going global, India is not on the CEOs or the board's attention. So I think it will play out, and we must watch the space as far as global concerns are around.
For Bharti, how are you planning to capitalize on the potential growth and position yourself for the future?
I think with 5G now being coming in, that opens up new avenues, especially in the industrial enterprise. These are the two main areas which will also, we have to realize the way India has progressed on digitization. It has been a remarkable few years of digitization, and that seems to be the mantra of the government and Prime Minister Modi. And we are playing that part along with the government to make sure broadband is available, which will then help all education, healthcare, government delivery of services, e-commerce, enterprise, that will proliferate. Today, broadband and this gadget in your hand is all pervasive. So that helps in, and hopefully help in growing the ARPU, helping in growing in more revenue generation possibilities.